LeBron pumping off adrenaline. I'm way too in my element. I know there's people better than, but right now who is better than? A man that's working hard as shit, trying to find a pot to piss. Showing all the ups and downs, shit is filled with awkwardness. Working on my discipline, time for me, I schedule it. Show my life unedited, I'll be doing shit I never did. Music therapeutic. All right, welcome back to another episode of the Extreme Lifestyle Living Podcast. Now, first off, I just want to say I hope you guys are having an absolute banger of a weekend or week, whatever you're listening to this. Why I release them on Sunday evenings or, well, actually, to be honest, it was Monday mornings. But then as soon as I get them done, I just kind of release them, send them to my clients. And I feel like the feedback so far based on doing that has been incredible. Do you know, I didn't think 12 to 16 hour difference would make such a big difference. But a lot of people on Sunday ended up listening to them while they're doing their meal prep. All my clients, the community, everyone's getting ready for the week. But I just wanted to say, I hope everyone's enjoying the new kind of, I don't want to say style of podcasts I've been doing the last 2 or 3, but since I've been sick, had a lot of reflections, on life and what I want to do and where I want to take my life. I've just changed the energy, changed the context as to how I'm giving my energy through these podcasts. And I don't want to say I'm being a little bit more aggressive, but I'd say, the tenacity behind my energy is there. You can sense the grit. I'm going after it. I fucking want it. And that's an easy segue into this episode's podcast title, or topic, I should say, is you got to be aggressive. You can't expect your dream life to fall in your lap. And this is something I've been really telling myself recently, kind of in the same tone as, fulfillment is in the results. But you got to be aggressive for the life that you want. No one's ever going to come give you anything that you want. And if you're privileged or blessed enough to have this happen, say financially your parents help you out when buying a house, or whatever it may be, maybe physically you grew up in, you didn't have to take care of your physical health that much because maybe you grew up in a family that was very educated in this realm of life, and you play a lot of sports and they took care of you and all these different things. But regardless of whatever it is, your emotional state, your mental state, your financial state, your physical state, every single area of your life, nobody's gonna come fucking give it to you. So your dream life on all these fronts are never going to just fall into your lap. And if you're not the aggressor in your life in terms of making this shit come to fruition, who's going to do it? You have people that can support you throughout the entirety of these journeys, but nobody is going to give you the results. No one's going to show up at the gym for you and put in the work and put in 110% effort each set, each rep, and every single rest period, and so forth. Same thing with your emotional state. If you're battling anxiety, you're battling depression, you're battling imposter syndrome, you're battling with low self-esteem, you're battling with whatever it may be that, you look in the mirror, you have that deep-rooted pit of just mental health disparity sometimes. Nobody's going to come change that for you. You have to embrace the anxiety. You have to be aggressive towards the depression and tell yourself that you deserve more, to feel more, and things like this. Same with boundaries in your relationship personally for yourself, your relationship with yourself, relationship with your family, relationship with anyone around you. Nobody's going to fucking come take care of these things for you. So you got to be aggressive towards it. And the reason why I want to use the word aggressive is because 90% of you guys that listen to this podcast, and the majority of my clients and people I communicate with each day and each week, we're the type of people that we care. We truly, truly care about everyone around us, our family, our friends, even just random people that we meet through the course of our lives. I'm big on just mannerisms everywhere we go. If I get a coffee, if I'm at a coffee shop and I'm at a cafe and I'm ordering my coffee, I'm asking questions to the person just to make them more inclusive to their job. It's not just a transactional process. Even at the gym, I feel this obligation as an authority, and not even as an authority because I'm a coach and run a community and all these different things, but just I know what it's like to be on the opposite end of being super, super weak internally. And I think, that's why it's important for you to be aggressive, because if you are physically not happy, you got to be aggressive towards creating that change. And if you are creating that change and it's not going the way you 110% think it should go, you got to be that much more aggressive to look at the information as to why. Same within your financial state. If you want more money, you want a better job, you want a different career, all these different things, you got to go out fucking and get it. Nobody's going to give it to you. That raise that you're looking for is not going to just magically show up in your bank account. That job, that career transition is not going to magically show up in your fucking life on your doorstep, and then you bring it in and then you're living this life. And especially with boundaries for personally, for yourself, when you're trying to hold yourself to a higher standard, if you're in a relationship and you're trying to, create a different type of dynamic as to what you're worth and what they're worth and all these things, it's not going to change overnight. And if you look in the mirror and you're not happy with the mental health you're living, which is kind of a little bit of the same thing as your mental health boundaries with yourself, you got to make these changes. And I think, as much as we think and feel that we deserve certain areas of our life to be in certain realms based on, we put in effort here, I've been doing this for a long time. And same thing, I could use 3 examples. Number one, the gym.
The gym is a perfect example for this because, myself included, doesn't matter if you're on a fat loss journey, if you're on a weight loss journey, if you're on a muscle building journey, whatever your journey is physically, every single one of us feel we deserve more because we're showing up. Same with a relationship, just because you decide one day that you don't want to be disrespected in these certain areas, or you want to have a relationship be this certain, like a different way, just because you feel these ways and you're putting in effort, doesn't mean you deserve it yet. Do you know what I mean? Especially financially, just because you decide to have a meeting with your boss and have this little plan through your job as to how you can get more money, that doesn't mean you deserve it right now, and I think the reason why you got to understand that and be aggressive with it is because how else are you expecting to get your life, the dream life you want, is if you're not aggressive and continuously, day in and day out, week after week, month after month, and year after year, showing up and fighting for it. At the end of the day, when you look back on your entirety of your entire life, like I'm talking about your entire life, and some of you guys have been faced with some trauma in your life that you've had been kind of put in this hard rock and a hard spot to look at your life already in these areas in this way. But it's like one day you're going to look back and you're never going to have a regret for being aggressive towards what you truly believe in, what you truly know you deserve, not feel, you deserve because your actions speak louder than your emotions. Then you're never going to think of these little bits of moments of, oh fuck, I wish I was I wish I was a little bit more calmer over here. I wish I was a little bit more nicer over here. Like when you're actually caring for the people around you and you have an ideology as to where you want to take your life, you're never going to look back with regrets along that line, or along that realm. You're only going to look back with regrets if you didn't show up aggressive enough. You didn't show up and verbalize the shit you wanted to change your life physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. You're only going to look back and just be like, I wish I gave more to myself and less to everyone around me. Biggest thing was work. A lot of you guys work so fucking hard, and it's different because I work for myself, have my love life in terms of like the fucking job I'm doing, like recording this podcast, hanging out with my clients. Like tomorrow is Monday when I get to do my check-ins, my favorite day of the week, all these different little things. And it's like, I'm never going to look back and regret anything I'm doing in this realm. Do you know what I mean? But I will regret not giving myself more time, whereas I work a lot, and a lot of you guys like put a lot of your guys' energy into work and your guys' relationships. And I'm not saying that, like, especially relationships, and I'm not here to paint a picture and say these aren't for you, but you're never going to look back and be mad at yourself for giving yourself more time and energy and aggressive, like tenacity to go get what you deserve, because your actions speak loud and you're very goal-oriented and ambitious. But you will look back and regret hiding and numbing and avoiding yourself in relationships that don't serve you. You're going to look back and really regret avoiding your life and numbing yourself through work and working overtime and putting a lot more time and effort into these things that just truly don't matter. And I think that's just why it's so important to be aggressive for the life that you want. And a lot of you guys that I work with are absolute fucking killers. And it's like the biggest thing with being aggressive is you're going to have that imposter syndrome. You're going to be, man, I feel like I'm being aggressive and all these different things. I probably shouldn't be this way. My rule of thumb is if you feel a little bit arrogant, knowing that deep down you truly just give a fuck, that means you're right on pace and you're just confident. A lot of you guys that I work with one-on-one, you've heard me say that to you directly to your face, whether it's in person, whether it's on Zoom calls, or whether it's on my check-ins. So sending you guys that's just feedback is like, I want you to feel arrogant, because that's when I know it's just coming off as you're radiating confidence. And the reason why I can say that so confidently is because, there was a point in my life where I was breaking free from some individuals around me in my life, and I was told I was arrogant, I was told I was cocky, I was told I was putting myself on this pedestal and all these different things, and damn fucking right I was, because I was putting in the work. I didn't look at anyone beside me at any moment and expect anything from anybody else. All I expected was just unwavering support, because they understood my ambition. But again, you also, which isn't, I don't want to go on a side tangent, but your work ethic, which is why you got to be aggressive, is a mirror to other people as to why they're insecure. So that's why everyone's going to drag you down and try to make you feel less than. And, they're going to tell you, stop being so aggressive, stop being so entitled, stop being all these different things. But when you hear those things, it's validation that you're on the right path, because you actually give a fuck. Now, if you're an arrogant prick and you're going out there trying to steal everything and be like, I deserve, that's why you got to be careful with what you think you deserve, because what did you put in the work for? And a prime example worth going to the gym. Oh, I showed up at the gym 4 to 5 times this week. I tried I meal prepped once, out of the week, not twice out of the week, all these different things. Like, I deserve more success. No, you deserve to be where you're at, which is looking and being confronted with the fact you didn't show up 110%. That's why you got to be aggressive. You can't be aggressive at 80%. You can't be aggressive at 70%. You got to be aggressive at 110%. And if you think your fitness is any different than your emotional state with your relationships with yourself and the people around you, your financial state, no one's going to fucking give you anything. If you want to show up in the gym and see changes, you do it 110% on all areas, and you're getting like you're checking your form, you're checking your tempo, you're sending your coach and people feedback as your movements and all these different things. And to be honest, if you don't do that, you're not 110%. Your emotional state as well. Like if you know you have anxiety, you know you have depression, you know you have like all of this like low self-esteem or maybe PTSD or OCD or some things that you're going through. If you're not 110% embracing those, and you got to be careful because, again, remember what I'm saying. You don't deserve anything that you're not going 110% for. So you can't decide Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday you're going to embrace your anxiety and depression, but Thursday to Sunday you're going to numb it by doing something else. You don't deserve anything. 3 divided by 7 is literally like 40 something percent. Like that's a fail. So you fucking failed, and you're over here with your ego thinking you deserve things. You got to be aggressive. You got to attack your fucking anxiety every single day, at every single moment, at every single week, for every single month. Period. You want to make more money? You can't just go to your boss and say, hey, I want a raise, and then sit back on your fucking ass. It doesn't work that way. That's why most of you guys are stuck in this fucking rat race with work, is because how often you ask for raises and how often you actually go and work for something. And that's where you guys get stuck in this box of, oh, what do I do for work? And what do I do for this? What do I do this? The blueprint's the same for all this shit. Self-discipline, self-actualization, self-development. You become the change you want to see. So if you want to fucking change, and a lot of you guys understand this, where you got to become the person you want to become. And that's where it becomes, you got to be aggressive towards it, because what imposter syndrome comes up, it's fake it till you make it, into a degree. And, at the end of the day, no one's going to do this stuff for you, especially in a relationship too. If you have a partner that's pressing boundaries or like, to be blunt, holding you back from the life that you want to go there and live and deserve, you got to check that, because you can't bring anchors with you. And that's why I'm saying be aggressive, because, you're not everyone in your life currently is meant to be at the very top. But until you understand how aggressive you truly need to be at the top of your life, you're never going to realize that. You're going to be stuck in this transcendent fucking abyss in your head that you're just left and right, being like, oh, I deserve this, but why don't I have it? Oh, I deserve this, why don't I have it? Oh, I deserve this, why don't I have it? And it's because you're missing the fucking marker. You're not being aligned with what you need to do. You're not embracing certain things. And a prime example, like this is one of the things that I feel like is just like, it might offend some people, but if I hit you up on Instagram, or if I reply to something on social media, or like any type of online platform, and you can immediately reply every single time, you're not putting in the work where you think you are. Just because you put in a certain amount of hours that day into something doesn't mean that the rest of the hours are taken care of. You don't deserve fuck all besides what you show up and put in the work for. So you got to be aggressive. If you want to change your life, 12-hour days aren't going to do it. It's 24 hours run in the day. Stay focused the entire day. And I think once you guys really understand the magnitude of this pressure you guys can put yourself under, that's the second that you guys are going to hit that multiplier effect of momentum. And it's no different when you guys all start at the gym. Let's say you never worked out before, or you just played sports, and you just have this very like cookie cutter way of looking at fitness, because that's the way we all been conditioned growing up. The second you start taking your health more serious, every single person around you feels that pressure. Particularly your family. You go to Thanksgiving dinners, Christmas dinners, all these things, and they ask you, they judge you with these questions. Oh, why do you weigh your food? Or why do you care about this? Why are you doing this? Why are you doing that? And you can either fall to their standards or raise to the occasion of what your potential is. And it's like a lot of you guys need to be a lot more aggressive to the potential you have, because nobody's going to do it. Your mom and dad is never going to come to you and be like, you deserve this, you should do this, here you go. It's not a fucking present. Like I said, it's not transactional. If you want boundaries in your relationships to be different on any standard, you got to put in the work for that. And again, it's about embracing the entirety of what that comes and looks like, because it takes two to tango. You can't look at somebody and be like, you don't do the laundry, you don't fucking carry your weight in the house, you don't do this, you don't do that, unless you got proof and your actions are fucking straight up aligned with it, and then you can't eat any of the shit you're yelling. Then be aggressive. Same with your fitness. Like, a lot of you guys think that you guys are tracking your nutrition 110% and going to get lattes without tracking them. A lot of you guys think you're tracking your nutrition 110% and not even meal prepping the second part of the week. Just because you meal prepped once doesn't mean fuck all. Same within a relationship with yourself or with your partner. You go on a date once, but you go for the rest of your life. You know what I mean? Like, what, you look at yourself in the mirror, I acknowledge my anxiety. You think that's fucking good enough to get rid of your anxiety? It's not. Same thing with any area of your life that you want to be at. Whether, like, and you got to be a visionary. You got to fucking articulate what this stuff looks like in your life, and you got to put yourself between a rock and a hard place, which is you and the reality of where you're at now. And the hard place is where you need to grow to get to where you want to go. And if you're not aggressive on that every single fucking day, you're not going to see the life that you want to see. And to be honest, shout out Kat, one of my clients right now, because I don't want to share any of her personal information, but she's trying to create a life that is very out there. Do you know what I mean? And it's one of those things where it's going to take a lot of transitions in her life, a lot of, self-confidence, self-actualization. She's going to have to be aggressive in certain areas for what she believes in and what she doesn't in order to get to where she wants to go. And that's a phenomenal rock and hard place to be at, because it's one of those things where you almost don't believe it's going to come true, but you're so aggressive and believe in your capabilities, know what you deserve, because the actions you're doing each day are giving you that proof that watch what happens. That's why I literally have the tattoo on my hand. Let's find out. If you're willing to put in the work, you're willing to eat the shit that goes with putting in the work, because your ego is going to show you where you're failing at, where you got to stand up taller, and where you got to put in more work. And if you can eat that as well, I can promise you every single time that you have a goal and you're aggressive towards it, you almost laugh because you'll be more depressed at the fact that it keeps coming true and coming to fruition that you don't know what to do with it. Which is why I always talk about being proud of where you are currently, because if you're not proud of where you're at currently, how the fuck do you think you're going to be proud of where you ever go? Which is why, again, you got to be aggressive on every single front. And honestly, I think that's a perfect way to end the episode, because to be honest, I don't want to say I didn't have much notes for this podcast episode, but the biggest thing is I just wanted to highlight being aggressive. And I think that's just something that me and Emma have really captivated lately. Even trying to move, we're trying to get out of our lease. Our guy's being a bit of a prick with it because he's just an entitled asshole. And I can say that with facts, because he's an entitled prick. You can tell he just has family money, he's just managing these places. But, if we just sit back and be like, oh, we have to stay until the end of the lease, it's like, no, we're going to put in the fucking work. We're going to be aggressive. We're going to showcase the place. We're going to sell our stuff. We're going to get somebody in here. And if that doesn't work, we're going to be even more aggressive, and we got other backup plans and stuff. And it's because we know what we want. We're willing to accept what we need to do to get there. And we're not stopping, because we're not going to sit there and try to smell the roses of what we think we deserve. Same with my physicality and my goals right now. I'm 30 years old. This time in 10 years, I'm going to be 40, obviously. But I don't want to look back and be like, why didn't I take care of certain aspects of my health sooner? I was in a car accident. I got tons of injuries. I'm still kind of managing, but almost looking left and right too, and just, I don't want to say ignoring them. But again, my ego sometimes, which is why I had a big reflection getting sick, tells me I deserve to be further than I think I should be physically and things. But the reality is I'm avoiding several different things with my training complex. And what I did was I got a new coach, doubled down on it, and now I'm doing all movements and everything that I'm fucking petrified of, because I'm being aggressive. And I understand that was my ego. I understand that I wasn't doing the work that I thought I deserved to get the results from, and now I'm literally putting myself in a rock and a hard place, and I'm being aggressive. So the biggest thing I want you guys to take away from this is that you can't expect your dream life to fall in your lap mentally, emotionally, spiritually, financially, anywhere. Where you are right now is where you are because you put in the work to get here. And then measure that towards what you think you deserve, aka what your expectations are around what you think you deserve, and then focus on what you need versus what you want. And a lot of you guys are caught up into what you want, which fucks up your guys' mind frame and your perspective on to being aggressive, because you're like, oh, well, I want this, why don't I have it? It's not about what you want, it's about what you need to get to what you want. And that's where a lot of you guys fail, because if you want that physical goal, you need to track your nutrition 110%, not 90%, not 85%, 110%. You want that relationship and the boundaries with yourself and your family and everyone else around you to be in a certain manner. You got to show up 110%, not 90%, not 85%, 110 fucking percent. And especially financially, this whole world that we live in, that's in such a shit economy right now from COVID, and we can go on a long list about this all stuff. But the biggest thing with all this too is, if you want to make more money, you want a better career, not one person in your entire fucking life of existence is going to give it to you. You got to go out there and create it. Period. And to be honest, I'm going to end it there, because I will just keep ranting for another 5, 10, 15 minutes. But the biggest thing is just be fucking aggressive. Go out into your life with this energy and know you fucking deserve it. And never, ever, ever deserve it from the standpoint of what you think you did. Deserve it from the standpoint of knowing what the fuck you did and how you showed up, and use your resume of actions to speak fucking loud. And that is it. Other than that, I hope you guys have an absolute banger of a motherfucking week. This week here, 10 toes down, chin up, chest out, be motherfucking aggressive, and let's fucking go.
Brown pumping off adrenaline, I'm way too in my element. I know there's people better than, but right now who is better than? A man that's working hard as shit, trying to find a pot to piss. Showing all the ups and downs, shit is filled with awkwardness. Working on my discipline, time for me, I schedule it. Show my life unedited, I be doing shit I never did. Music therapeutic, here's a little dose of medicine.